If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
Chapter 150, haven't thought about that. Probably just find a way for that as well. Burning down the devil in his flames, the dragon roared out loud in excitement, sending shockwaves throughout the Shadow Palace. Everyone who felt the mana from the shockwaves looked at the dragon in awe. Many were confused by the sudden appearance of the giant beast, but some looked at the dragon with curiosity. This key. Oi! Sek. Is that you? Asked Asta as he felt a somewhat familiar key from the dragon. Hey? That's Sek. Asked Secret in shock. The human from earlier. Asked Lumiere. Ha ha ha. This feels awesome. Yelled the dragon. Hearing his words, the people started to ease up and soon licked. Lumiere and Secret realized that they could no longer feel the devil's mana. Did we finally win? Asked Licked with a slightly surprised yet excited tone. But all their excitement was short-lived, since the Shadow Palace started trembling harder from the mana radiating out of Sek. The palace is going to collapse soon. The devil's magic is still going strong, informed Lumiere. Crap, shouldn't have used that much force in the last attack, thought Sek, knowing full well that it was he who fastened the palace's collapse. Well, it felt great, didn't it? Asked Vritra, as he was partly to blame for the over-the-top display of power. While Sek and Vritra were talking to each other, a black portal appeared near them, and the people who were present in the Shadow Palace started to come out of them. Wah! The pasty beanpole space magic guy! Exclaimed Asta as he saw Voltos come out of the portal that brought everyone along with it. Oi! Dumbass! How dare you steal my kill at that last moment? And what's up with this creepy giant snake form? You still sane? Asked Yami. Don't be a sore loser now, Yami-san. By the way, the 10,000 yuls are mine now. Keep that in mind. TCH, yeah. Hearing their casual banter, many of them wondered whether the two of them cared about the fact that they were about to be buried alive. Stop wasting time, we need to get out of here, said Nozel. All of them nodded and then looked up towards the exit. The dragon Ifedsek stared at it for a while and then looked at the others. How the hell am I supposed to fit through that? All of them looked at the giant dragon and then at the exit. Turn back to human. Asked Noel. How do I do that, Vritra? Asked Sek. Don't know, every time this mode is used, my host either dies or goes insane. Replied the Dragon King. We are in deep shit, aren't we? Probably. Sek sighed and then looked at Noel. I don't know, how? Hey? Then what are we gonna do? I can cut you in small pieces if that works, said Yami and unsheathed his katana. I second that as well, said Jack while licking his lips. Can you two be serious for a second? Despicable humans, commented Charla with an annoyed look on her face. Asta, use that new sword of yours on me, said Sek. Hey? Oh. That might work, said Asta in a slightly excited tone. Asta's grimoire started flipping and soon the handle of the sword came out of it. Pointing the blade of the sword at Sek, Asta channeled the anti-magic in the sword, making a magic circle form in front of the giant dragon. Sek looked at the small circle in front of the sword but still didn't feel any change. Is this working, Vritra? Asked Sek. It's slow but it is working. Though it might take around 30 minutes at this rate. My other half. I know, Vritra. Sorry. No need to apologize, my other half. I know that the big OL Dark Lord is a huge softie. Haha. Asta, stop it. This is not working. You guys get out first. This place is collapsing. Hearing the dragon's words, Asta stopped, but hearing the words that followed next, his eyes widened in shock. The same was the case with everyone, since they understood what Sek was implying. Oi, brat! Are you finally out of your mind? Asked Yami. Do you think we will leave you behind and just be on our way? How are you gonna come out? Asked Noel. I will find a way, replied Sek. What if you don't? Asked Secret in a serious tone. I will. I am asking, what if you don't? Haven't thought about that. Probably just find a way for that as well, replied Sek in a calm tone. The others were about to voice their concerns, but soon the ceiling above them started falling. Seeing the falling rubble, Sek blew them away with his breath. He then looked at his puny friends who were not showing any signs of moving at all. Sighing in defeat, Sek's gaze turned cold as he looked at the people around him. Feeling his cold gaze, all of them got stiff. Even the Magic Knight captains, Licht and Lumiere were no exceptions. All of them turned silent and stared at the huge dragon that was looking at them. Seeing that he had their attention, a smirk appeared on the dragon's face. Soon the snake-like appendages from his body spread out and wrapped around the bodies of motionless people. Worry about the Dark Lord, when you don't get scared shitless from his gaze. Hey? What are you doing? Sek! Yelled Asta. Grow strong, Asta. In the time I am not there, you have to pull some of my weight in the squad as well. Let go of me. I am ordering you to stop whatever you are doing. Ordered Noel. Noel, same for you. You have come a long way from where we started, but there is a long way ahead. I won't be able to help you train for a while though, so don't slack off. Hey? Me getting scared of you. In your dreams. Let go of me. Screamed Mirioliana as she released her mana. Don't try your worthless struggle. The moment Sek uttered those words, the snake-like appendages glowed and all of them felt powerless. Sek, stop. Please. I am begging you. Cried Secret as she noticed that Sek was carrying all of them towards the exit. Secret, sorry for worrying you all the time. Take care of yourself. Also, once I get back let's go on a long bike ride just like old times. Also if possible, look after mom and dad. Oi, dumbass. You sure about this? You won't get your 10,000 yulls if you are stuck here, you know. Said Yummy. We will settle that once I come back. Take care, Yummy-san. Look after the squad. Go see a doctor about your shitting problem as well. Oi. What was that last part? Haha. Everyone, take care. I will see you all as soon as I can. Hearing the dragon laugh out loud, Secret, Asta, and Noel continued to yell while crying. Yami had a frown on his face as he stared at the dragon and then at the collapsing palace. The Black Bulls as a whole were not willing to leave behind their comrade at a place like this, not to mention some of them had seen him sacrificing himself for them before as well. Yuno and Mirioliana clenched their teeth, feeling powerless once again. The elves and Lumiere were silent since they were not close to Sek, but they still had a feeling of respect for the man who stood strong till the very end. All of them stared at the dragon for one last time before Sek pushed them through the exit, sending them out of the Shadow Palace. All of them flew through the portal for a while and soon emerged back in the Clover Kingdom. Secret immediately tried to locate the Shadow Palace and use her magic to get back in. Feeling the position of the place, Secret immediately grabbed the spear that she was using for flying and rode on it, ready to go back in there. However, out of nowhere the figure of Shadow Palace appeared in front of them, making them stop what they were doing. Some even thought that it was Sek's doing and were about to say something, but soon those thoughts disappeared from their mind. The glowing figure of the Shadow Palace started to crack up and soon the whole figure shattered and disappeared right in front of their eyes. This made Lix and Lumiere's eyes widen in shock. The Shadow Palace. It's gone. Secret stared at the space with shocked eyes with not a single word escaping her mouth. The others had a similar reaction as they just started at the destroyed Shadow Palace, not knowing what to say. Secret simply flew towards the location of the palace and used her magic, trying to unseal its entrance, but nothing happened. She tried again and again, but no matter how hard she tried, nothing happened. Finally accepting the fact after around 100 tries, she started crying out loud, making all the others who were waiting for a miracle to happen snap out of their thoughts. Chapter 151, I won't forgive you if something unspeakable happens to my body. The night passed by since the whole elf fiasco ended. The elves who were turned into bronze statues by Sek were purified with the help of Willem and Asta's magic, and it finally let the humans rightfully claim their bodies back. Most things were finally settling down, but the kingdom was still in chaos. Though the threat was gone for now, the populace was still hesitant about the situation. Still, the magic knights who gave their all for the battle that occurred last night were finally able to get some well-deserved rest. Despite that, there was a group of knights that were currently having an audience at the Magic Knight headquarters. Now, then, all of you worked very hard. The battle has ended, and now we can live happily ever after, or so I would like to say. A kid who looked even younger and shorter than Asta stood in front of Asta, Noel, Mimosa, and Secret. All of them were in a bad state, with the girl's eyes looking swollen while both of Asta's fists were swollen and covered in dried blood. His eyes were swollen as well, and this easily told the onlookers that all of them were crying till not so long ago. And that was the truth as well. If not for the order, they would not be willing to stand in front of some unknown brat who was talking as if he was some big shot. This key, Captain Yami, is he? Asked Asta in a shaky voice. Sigh, yes, This brat is the old man wizard king. All of them except for Secret reacted at the sudden revelation, wondering how the hell the man who should be dead was standing in front of them, and that too linking young at that. All of them had that question, but Asta immediately put that at the back of his mind and stepped forward. Wizard King. Please. Can you get Sek out of that place? Requested Asta. Hearing the girls including Secret looked at Julius with a hopeful gaze, but Yami simply frowned. He had asked the same question earlier and he knew what the answer was going to be. I am sorry Asta-kun, I don't have that kind of power, I am really sorry. Hearing his answer, the small hope that appeared in Asta's heart died down. F***ck. For the first time in his life, Asta felt an emotion like that. He didn't know what it was, but he simply wanted to let out some steam out of him. Can you please excuse me? I want to be alone for a while, asked Secret, who had been quiet for the whole time, and without even receiving a reply she transformed into her bird form and flew out of the HQ. I want to be excused as well, said Asta, and he simply bowed to the Wizard King before saluting him and walking away as well. All of them knew what Asta and Secret did was very disrespectful, but none of them voiced their complaints. Sai, looks like I was too hasty to call them, I apologize to you too as well, Noel-kun, Mimosa-kun. I am sorry for my inability to do something about all this. You both can go and rest as well. And thank you for the great service and risking your life for the Clover Kingdom, said Julius in a dejected tone. Noel and Mimosa were flushed by his actions and told him that it wasn't his fault, but they too were still pretty shocked because of what happened last night. The two of them soon excused themselves, leaving behind Julius and Yami in the room. What about you, Yami? How are you feeling about all this? Asked Julius. It feels pretty shitty knowing that I got saved by one of my brats, and that I wasn't able to save them back. I don't know why, but somehow I feel the same as well. Maybe it's because he saved the people of the kingdom when it was my duty to do so, and yet I am unable to help him. Don't beat yourself up, old man in a brat's body. You did what you could, you should feel glad that you are alive. People don't usually get do-overs in life, you know. Sigh, it's easier said than done. I agree to that. The Magic Knight Captain and the Wizard King sighed simultaneously and felt that they needed to be prepared for dangers that were going to haunt them. The loss of a man who sacrificed himself time and time again for the sake of the Clover Kingdom was going to cause a huge uproar, and they knew that they had to face the citizens who would question their ability after such an incident, but they had to face them on. They were not going to let the kingdom that was saved by the efforts of magic knights like Sek fall and waste the effort that they poured into it. Meanwhile, a certain Dark Lord. So, do I need to poop while I am in this dragon body? Asked a certain Dark Lord in his dragon form. So we are finally out of things to talk about, hey? Groaned Vritra. Well, it can't be helped, I have been feeling strangely energetic in this form and I am nowhere near depleted to be back in my human form, if that is possible, replied Sek. That's one problem, my other half. What about the other problem of the exit of the palace being destroyed? How are you planning to leave this place? Haven't got to that part yet. I am hoping that my space cutting works, but even Yumi-san's space cutting didn't destroy the palace, so. In other words, we are stuck here till death. Oi! Don't jinx it, you bastard! Don't call me a bastard! I am a pure-blooded dragon king of might prowess. Yet. I know. The one who struck terror through its tentacle play. Hey? What the hell did you? Vritra was in the middle of a complaint when all of a sudden both he and Sek felt a mana surge in the devastated palace. A giant tremor occurred in the space above them and a golden portal appeared. The dragon, who was lying around peacefully, simply looked up, wondering if it was yet another enemy attack. Divine energy? No, it's similar, but it's still different from divine energy. My other half, be careful, and hope that whoever they might be, they are not into mating with animals, warned Vritra. What the f***ck? You can't be sure with gods and other divine creatures, replied Vritra. Hearing his words, Sek remembered some of the tales of gods from his previous life and subconsciously his asshole clenched. The portal shimmered suddenly and nearly 1,000 people clad in white came out of the portal. Wow, this place really got f***ed up pretty bad. Well, that's the issue for the construction team. Now where is that juicy draconic presence that we felt earlier? The man who seemed to be the leader of the group that came out of the portal said in a calm tone while looking around the destroyed Shadow Palace. Sek, who was quite a few floors below, was not noticed by the group yet, but the words that came out of the man's mouth were heard by the dragon's excellent hearing. Clench up and be ready to fight my other half. I won't forgive you if something unspeakable happens to my body, said Vritra in a serious tone. You don't need to tell me twice. No way in hell am I letting them anywhere near me, replied Sek in a serious tone as he got ready for yet another battle. Chapter 152, Ready for a Bad Time? The army that just entered the destroyed Shadow Palace stood behind the man who seemed to be the leader. It's a much stronger presence than the ones we have caught before. Just imagining how valuable this one might be is making me excited. The leader of the army muttered in a gleeful tone. The people behind him felt the same as all of them readied their weapons to deal with a dragon. All right, everyone, get in formations, we have a dragon to find and catch, ordered the leader as he looked back at the people behind him. Yes, Lord Xander. The soldiers spread out while the man named Xander just watched the soldiers spread out. This debris and broken floors are blocking the path and hiding the dragon, well, the construction group will be building the whole place again anyway. Explosion magic, brilliant detonation. A bright orb formed above the man's palm and soon started to grow bigger and bigger. Defensive formation. Hearing his order, the soldiers who were clad in white armor immediately formed a barrier around them. The leader Xander smirked and pointed the huge orb of magic toward the palace and simply pushed it lightly. The huge orb broke down into smaller orbs and scattered all around the palace. Sek looked at the orbs that were floating all around the Shadow Palace and simply focused back on the army above him. He wasn't able to see them, but he could hear them and was able to sense them through ki and mana sensing. Suddenly the whole Shadow Palace glowed bright and all the orbs made by Xander exploded simultaneously. Boom boom boom. I hope that the dragon did not die by that, muttered Xander and chuckled. Soon the smoke dissipated and the giant and mighty dragon was visible to the army. Ho, a big one. Looks like a kid who escaped the purge got the chance to grow up. Yo! Dumb lizard. The size of the dragon was probably the biggest that soldiers had ever seen. This made all of them focused on Sek with their weapons pointed at him and ready to strike the moment any order was given. Who the fuck are you? Asked Sek. Hey! Did that dumb lizard just speak? It's intelligent. Wait, why am I getting a human presence from you as well? What the heck are you? Asked Xander in a confused tone. Nunya, replied Sek in a calm tone. Nunya. Nunya f** in business, replied Sek in a calm tone. You have quite a mouth on you despite being an overgrown dumb lizard. And you have quite the audacity to straight up bomb your surroundings while someone is resting. So who the fuck are you anyway? Not something that someone about to die should know, said Xander and gestured to his army. The soldiers immediately charged mana in their weapons that were already pointed at Sek. Magic item, Spear of Order Restrain. Various glowing vines launched from the tips of the spears that were held by the soldiers and wrapped themselves around Sek's entire body. Seriously, are you guys even trying? Asked Sek in an indifferent tone. This made some of the soldiers angry as they thought that the dragon was crossing its limits. Acting tough, hey? Asked Xander with a smirk on his face. Vritra, are you sure that these guys are strong? Asked Sek. Feeling the divine presence. I hope they are, otherwise, it will be very disappointing. You do know that we have to get out of here alive, right? Yeah, but think my other half. Won't it feel great to actually fight someone who is, well, good enough to fight against? It will, but we have to keep our priorities straight. Also. Sek finally stopped talking with Vritra and looked at the people around him who were attacking the huge dragon non-stop with mana blasts and beams. I don't think that these guys will give me a challenge. Not in this form at least, thought Sek, totally unaffected by the mighty attacks of these so-called divine beings. Are you guys done playing? If so, then go away. I have a lot to think about, said Sek in a calm tone and just shifted his huge body slightly and easily broke through the restraints. Hey! Wait, did he just break through the combined restraints from all of us? You dumb lizard! Know your place! Great, a group of young masters, thought Sek and internally sighed. Stop it, everyone! It seems like this thing has some resistance against being restrained. Just ignore that. Follow up on my attack, declared Xander as a huge amount of mana gathered around him. That's an impressive amount of mana. Maybe it won't be as boring as I thought it would be. See, now go ahead and massacre them like a good dragon, my other half, said Vritra in a joyous tone. A jolly tone for such a dark thing. Well, seeing the situation, it might be needed. Take this and die, you lizard. The spell that led to the demise of many low-life lizards like you, yelled Xander with an ecstatic look on his face. Explosion magic, mass extinctor. A giant orb of mana appeared in front of Xander's hand and soon he fired that towards Sek. Well, time for some warm-up, I guess, muttered Sek and took a deep breath. What? Going to use flames? Ha! You dumb lizards are all the same. My magic is explosion magic, the magic that carries the aspect of destruction. And a lowly lizard like you who likes to use flames just powers up my explosion magic. You are just speeding up your own doom. Explained Xander. You speak too much for a weakling. Watch and learn, asshole. Feel the power of the Dark Lord, replied Sek as black flames gathered in the dragon's mouth. A sea of black flames almost 5 times the size of the huge explosion orb came out of Sek's mouth, easily engulfing and destroying the orb itself. Seeing the black flames that came almost instantly, Xander's eyes widened as he tried to comprehend what happened. Magic item, God's grace. All the soldiers who saw the flames heading toward Xander immediately pointed their magic tools toward Xander and activated them. A bright orb of mana surrounded Xander, trying to protect him. Sek thought that as well but didn't feel any resistance from the flames, and this made him wonder what the glowing thing around Xander was doing. But suddenly his gaze fell on the soldiers that were using the magic item. Many of them started falling one after the other lifelessly, and this made the Dark Lord surprised. An item to transfer your life force for saving others. I don't know if it should be called divine or cursed, said Vritra. It's just F***ed up. Thought Sek as he finally stopped his attack and took a deep breath. Once the flames died down, the orb around Xander vanished and an unscathed Xander came out and looked at Sek with a horrified gaze. Why you monster? Yelled Xander. Thanks for the compliment. It shows how weak you are compared to me, replied Sek. Why you imbecile? How dare you kill all these men? You dumb F***king lizard. Well, you were too much of a coward to take that attack head on and used a F***ed up magic tool instead. Sounds like a skill issue to me, replied Sek in a not so bothered tone. Sek then completely ignored the remained soldiers and Xander and focused on the dead bodies, then fell after his attack. The tentacles around him scattered and stabbed the armored soldiers, making their living comrades widen their eyes in shock. Not bothered by that in the least, Sek simply absorbed the mana of the dead soldiers and stopped once he felt full. Good. Now then, shoo. Let me be in peace. Carry your men on your way back, said Sek as if ordering them, and simply laid down. This made the group of young master wannabes grit their teeth in anger and were about to curse back at the dragon, but all of a sudden a feeling of dread descended upon them. Sek simply looked up while releasing a slight amount of his mana and looked coldly at the group. Go back while I am still being nice. I won't think twice before killing the rest of you if you bother me any further, said Sek in a cold tone. All of them moved back when they felt Sek's aura. Even Xander, the head of the young masters, gulped down, and he finally realized that this mission might not be as easy as he thought it was. Just what are you? You filthy beast! You dare make the enemy out, oh! Yelled one of the soldiers, when all of a sudden shadowy blades tore through his body, killing him in an instant. Stop! Yelled Xander when he noticed that his men were about to attack the monster. The soldiers stopped and looked at Xander, who was looking cautiously at Sek, who was lying down with his eyes closed, but still had his mana and key sensing on. Gather their bodies. We will revive them once we get back, ordered Xander. So they have a way of reviving them, hey? Maybe that's the reason why all of them used that magic tool to save him earlier. They don't fear death, said Vritra. The soldiers immediately obeyed the command, although all of them were gritting their teeth in anger, but knew that it was foolish to go against their superiors' orders. While Sek and Vritra were busy talking and the soldiers were gathering the dead bodies, Xander secretly took out a small glass orb and pointed it at Sek. Magic item, Soul Sight. This caught Sek's attention as he thought that the fool was going to attack once again, but he didn't feel any damage at all. He focused on Xander and saw a translucent screen appear above the orb with some incomprehensible words written on it. Sek Bronzeza, said Xander, making the dragon's eyes widen from surprise. Seeing that reaction, a smirk appeared on Xander's face. So you were a human, hosting the soul of a deceased dragon. I cannot read its name, but it's the soul of a dead being, hey? Continued Xander. Hearing his words, Sek understood that the idiot must have used an appraisal magic tool of some sort. Well, it's good that the name of the Dark Lord spreads around anyway, thought Sek, since he didn't feel that it was that much of a big deal. He was not a person who was shy of fame anyway. But all of a sudden a huge amount of mana gathered below Sek, making him sigh once again. Fools like you never. But before he could complete, a giant portal appeared below Sek and tried to sink him in. Seeing that Sek simply floated and looked at Xander with a deadpan look on his face. Did you think that I would fall for such a trick? Asked Sek. But Xander's smirk simply widened as he raised his finger and the portal moved up and engulfed Sek's entire body before vanishing in an instant. Looks like you fell for it, my other half, commented Vritra. Just shut up, replied Sek in annoyance. Anyway, where the hell are we? Asked Sek. Don't know, although I feel a lot of divine energy substitute here. Wait, what's happening? Said Vritra in a surprised tone. The huge dragon that appeared in an unknown place through a portal soon started glowing, and an instant later the dragon's body vanished, leaving behind a blond man who had a shocked look on his face. Hey! Muttered Sek in shock as he was somehow back in his human form. Sek looked at his body to see if there were any injuries on him, but seeing that he was fine he sighed and looked around. Suddenly another portal appeared in the air and a familiar face leading the army came out of it. How is it human? Yelled Xander in an ecstatic tone. Where the hell is this? And what the hell do you want from me? You have been bothering me for a while. This here is the land of the dead, and do you know what's the speciality about this realm? No dead soul can use its power here. Means no annoying dragon soul to save you this time, you damn weak human. The moment those words came out of Xander's mouth, the soldiers that surrounded Sek impaled his body with mana spears. Get ready to die a brutal death, human. No one's gonna save you here, said one of the cocky soldiers, and laughter erupted amongst the crowd. Sigh, young masters indeed, muttered Sek, shocking the soldiers as they saw Sek talking without any discomfort. Bronze magic, bronze body logia. Sek simply broke through the mana spear without any issue and looked at the enemy army with a smirk and raised two of his fingers. Two things that you all got wrong and are gonna regret soon. Number 1, I don't need the dragon's power to fight. Number 2, the ones who are gonna need to be saved are you. The armor-clad young masters were about to question and curse Sek, but all of a sudden a huge wave of mana spread around them and the sky started to turn dark, or so they thought. Some of them looked up at the sky and a scene of horror welcomed them. Mana Zone, Unlimited Bronze Works Gaster Circus. The sky above them was filled with huge metallic animal skulls charged up with mana ready to cause a massacre. Ready for a bad time? Asked Sek in an amused tone. Huh! Muttered a random soldier, and the surroundings soon got engulfed in a bright light. That was the instant the first massacre by a human occurred in the so-called land of the dead. Chapter 153, Someone. Please save me from this barbarian. All the gaster blasters in the sky rained down the attacks on the army of young masters without mercy. Once drained, they recharged and attacked again, and this continued for a whole minute. Feeling his mana level drained by around 15% after that attack, Sek stopped and deactivated the mana zone. It was the right call to fill up my mana from the dead bodies. You alright, Vritra? Asked Sek while he took X-Dace out of its sheath. I am fine. But I won't be able to assist you in battles, my other half. I am going to miss the chance to fight serious battles once again. These damn punks dare to use such a cheap trick, replied Vritra in an agitated and regretful tone. Sek simply gave an awkward laugh at the dragon's thought process and walked toward the group of young masters who were most likely dead. Well, I hope at least one of them is alive. These lowlives that deny me the right to fight should just go to hell, yelled Vritra in anger, making Sek just shake his head helplessly. Walking through the dust cloud that was still not settled, Sek felt the key of one being who was still alive and was trying to crawl away. Smirking at the man's futile attempt, Sek walked with a smirk on his face. Hey? Looks like all of them are dead. Such a shame, I was planning on befriending one of them at least. How about you? Said Sek in a calm tone as he stomped cruelly on Xander, who was still somehow alive after the attack with bronze spikes on his shoes. Want to be my friend? Ah! Feeling the spikes pierce his body, Xander yelled in pain. Blood started to drip out of his wounds and his white garments were stained with red. What do you know? So you guys bleed like normal, and yet you were looking down on me. Anyway, what do you say? Wanna be my friend and talk with me about all this shit that's happening? Asked Sek with a smile as he stomped another place with his spike shoes. Xander screamed once again as pain coursed through his body. In all his life he had never shed a single drop of blood, let alone been punctured with various holes and blood gushing out of them. What is happening? What did this filthy mortal human do to me? Why am I bleeding? Why you *king human? What the hell did you do to me? You sure are disrespectful to someone who wants to be a friend. Anyway, what are you and what business do you have with me? And how the hell do I get out of this place? Asked Sek. Why you think I have something to say to a barbaric filthy lowlife like you? Do you think that the pain you are suffering right now is the limit to what I can make you feel? Asked Sek in a serious tone. And this made Xander's face harden. The barbaric human had many more ways to inflict more pain and cause him to suffer. Tell me what I want to know while I am not resorting to, let's just say better means to get what I want to know, said Sek with a smile. So I will ask again. What the hell do you guys want from me? Asked Sek in a cold tone with Xdace's tip pointed right between his eyes, ready to pierce the young master's skull. I will speak. I will speak. Yelled Xander in fear, hearing which Sek smirked. 1 hour later. You guys are pretty f***ed up, said Sek in response to all the info that he suddenly got from Xander. From what Xander told him, the Shadow Palace where they fought earlier was the entrance to the land of the dead. This dimension, just like its name, is the place where all the souls of dead beings come to spend some time before being sent to the afterlife, or so how it should have been. These guys that Xander called gods that reside in a higher plane invaded this realm and now use this place to refine the souls that are gathered here before sending them back to the gods who use them to increase their powers, and in return the guys from this realm get a share of the said power from various gods that buys the souls from them. And from what he knew, dragon souls, because of their quality, are sold at an extremely high price. Because of this, a few millennia ago these gods with purchased divine energy went on a massacre of the dragons from his world, and now after all this time, when they felt a strong draconic presence from the Shadow Palace, they came to get the goods. It sounds like how back in my world many gods used the prayers and influence from their worshippers to increase their powers. That's why I felt a similar kind of divine energy from them, commented Vritra. Well, still refining the souls of the dead to sell, what the hell's going on with that? Don't know, we'll have to see that firsthand. Anyway, looks like we are on a new adventure, said Vritra. Well, you are right about that, uttered Sek. Xander looked confused about what the hell the barbaric and cruel human was talking about. But all of a sudden, he was lifted by his collar and was tossed up in the air. Bronze creation magic, bronze rider. Bronze restraining magic, bronze shackles. Well then, my new friend. Lead me to the city of yours. Did you just call me a slave? Asked Xander in anger. Ha ha ha. That's your imagination. I called you my friend. No. You definitely called me a slave. Listen to me, you damn human, don't get ahead of Xdace, pointing at his throat. My best friend, let me lead the way. Haha, you are such an understanding man. Now run, said Sek in a calm tone as Sek started chasing Xander while riding on his monobike. What the hell did I do to deserve this? Mentally yelled Xander as he ran on 2 of his speed. His magic was restrained because of Sek's spell, but his so-called divine energy enhanced body was able to perform quite well. This guy is doing quite good despite his magic being sealed. This might get troublesome. I want to be a part of this troublesome mess as well, my other half. Find a way to use your powers in this realm and then talk. Honestly, even I would prefer if I could use your abilities here, replied Sek. I will see if it is possible in any way, but it's not likely to happen. Be on your guard, my other half. I don't want to be wine for these gods. You need to live and save my soul from turning into wine, said Vritra. Aren't you a selfish dragon? You also need to get back to mate with your birdie, replied Vritra. Oi! Don't loot secret, you dick, mentally retorted Sek. Hey? Did you call me a dick, my bird fucker other half? Retorted Vritra. The two started mentally arguing, completely forgetting about the young master running with his life on the line and a sword pointed right at his neck. Someone! Please save me from this barbarian. Chapter 154, Ready to Die? An hour passed by with Xander running and leading Sek to the nearest young master base. This place really does fit the land of the dead vibe. No *king thing in the path, just barren land, commented Sek. Ha! Don't just judge by these outskirts. One look at the habitat areas and you will knock your socks off, you despicable human! Yelled Xander while running in front of Sek's bike. Sek stared at his guide, who had been running without any difficulty for the past hour. His endurance is high. Divine energy effects. It's the best thing for conditioning the body, replied Vritra. Might be better to not hold back on these guys. Long-lasting battles might get troublesome if there are too many of them. I agree to that as well, I wanna fight too, said Vritra in a sad tone. Anyway, I think it's time for you to be ready to use all kinds of spells, and that includes the truly dangerous ones as well. All these people are here to kill you. Make sure to kill them first. The truly dangerous ones as well, hey. Well, it's better than expending too much of my mana while trying to kill using my conventional spells. It's nice you are one of those people who have an aversion to killing your enemy. Before becoming a magic knight, I was a hunter. I am familiar with taking lives, also if killing someone keeps me alive then I can't hesitate. Don't worry, we will get out of here alive. After all, aren't you the great Dark Lord? Replied Vritra, trying to reassure his host. That I am, replied Sek with a smile on his face. Meanwhile, Xander, who was running in front of Sek, sneakily peeked at Sek, the despicable barbarian lowly piece of shit, a human that killed his squad and was torturing him at the current moment. Let's see how long can you have a smirk on your face, thought Xander, and continued to run with a determined look on his face. Soon a smirk appeared on his face as he noticed the gem on one of his buttons glow. But he immediately controlled his expression so that the man behind him wouldn't get suspicious of him. How much longer? Asked Sek in a bored tone. We are almost there. Just a bit longer, replied Xander, and slowly moved his hand towards the glowing button. Making sure that the man behind him wasn't looking, Xander did a sequence of taps on the button and immediately the button glowed red. Soon the red glow started coming out of the button and immediately Sek stopped his bike and looked at Xander with a curious expression. Gonna tell me what's happening? Asked Sek while unsheathing Xdace. See you soon, and start counting your remaining days, replied Xander, and immediately the glow enveloped his body and the man started to vanish from Sek's sight. Xdace, magic cutter. Sek channeled mana to his bike and slashed Xander's vanishing body. Immediately the magic enveloping Xander vanished and one of Xander's arms fell off his body. Ah! A scream full of pain came out of Xander's mouth and blood started spilling out of the now missing arm. Like dealing with all your men earlier wasn't enough to make you realize the difference between us. Saying that, Sek got off his bike, walked towards Xander and picked him up by his collar. Lead the way without any stupid stunts and maybe we can reach the city before you die of blood loss. And I will be taking this. Sek made a sidecar for his bike and dropped Xander in it before pulling out the magic item button from Xander's clothes. Xander clutched his wound tightly because of the pain and glared at Sek with hatred. But once Sek's cold gaze landed on Xander, he immediately lowered his head. Sek looked at the wounded young master and simply poked Xdace in his wound. Ah! Let's get something straight here. You are not alive because you were some super strong or smart shit. You are alive because I have not yet killed you. And believe me, you will feel lucky if you get a swift death from me. So do yourself a favor and keep being useful to me. Saying that, Sek pulled Xdace out of his body and wiped the blood off it. The feeling of hatred inside Xander grew stronger. He really wanted to make the human skull explode with his magic. I am not some smart or strong shit, let me tell this to you, human. The moment I get back with the rest of us will make you regret that you were ever alive. You will beg for mercy. Yelled Xander in anger. Hearing that, Sek looked at the angry man with a calm look on his face. But soon a small smile appeared on his face. Then, there is no time to waste, right? After all, don't you want to meet up with the rest of your people and attack me? I want to reach one of your main cities. Our goals are aligning. So just be a good weakling and lead the way. Saying that, Sek sat on his bike and once again was now on his way to the city. Xander was angry but still led the way as he was told. Well, he needed some more persuasive stabs to work as told, but anyway, after that, the man was following orders like the good Slokov friend that he was. Soon Sek saw the visage of a huge wall and immediately sped up his bike. Seeing his HQ, a huge smirk appeared on Xander's face, but soon he got confused as Sek stopped a few hundred meters away from the entrance. What? Don't tell me you got scared, you despicable being! Mocked Xander. Scared? No. I am giving you a chance to go back first. Meet your friends, inform them how you got your ass beat by a single awesome man, and form a proper squad to take me on. After all, I don't want to make what is going to happen soon look like bullying, you know. Do you really think you have any chance of getting out of this alive? Haha, don't worry about me. After all, if you were any sort of indicator of the strength I should expect for the following battle, well, let's not spoil the results for you. Now shoo. Xander gritted his teeth and clenched his fist in anger. He got off the bike, looked at Sek one last time, spat on his bike, and walked toward the entrance of the city. Sek looked at the one-handed young master and deactivated his bronze rider. Was provoking them a good idea? Asked Vritra. Well, we'll find out soon, replied Sek. So, my other half, what's the plan of attack? Asked Vritra. Attack? Seriously? I mean, what else? Do you want me to transform into a titan and just run past that wall and start showing them who's the boss? That sounds enticing, Taitakai. Oi! Snap out of it! But the wall, titan, attack. Don't start trouble. Only act if trouble comes seeking you. I told you before, be careful, we are in the enemy territory. We don't know how strong they are. Okay. Don't be sulky, my other half. I am not sulky, thought a pouting Dark Lord. Half an hour passed by with Vritra and Sek goofing around. Well, that's enough time for forming an emergency task force. Sek then walked towards the huge majestic gate and looked around. There's no doorbell here. So how do we enter? Hey! Anyone there? Can you open the gate? Yelled Sek. So what now? Asked Sek. When in doubt, punch it out. Replied Vritra. You want me to punch the huge door? Asked Sek in disbelief. Well, it's you who says that if violence is the question and the answer is yes, replied Vritra. Can't argue with that logic, replied Sek and shrugged his shoulders. Gathering mana in his arm and clenching his fist tightly, Sek punched the huge gate with full force. Dark Lord's base level max power, serious punch. Boom! A huge shockwave passed through the gate and a loud deafening sound came out of the door. Quite a name for a single punch, commented Vritra. Leaving that aside, this door is sturdy as hell, commented Sek as he looked at the dent caused by his punch but was still surprised that the door was still intact. Alarm sounds. Intruder alert. Gate 03 under attack. Intruder alert. Gate 03 under attack. So what was that about not making a scene thing? Asked Sek in a calm tone. We have not made that huge of a scene. Even in the past, people, dragons, and gods who came to challenge me used various means like these to grab my attention. And what happened to those people? Asked Sek. Oh, I killed most of. Oh, we made a scene. Great timing to realize that, buddy. Sek could feel the mana and ki of the people who were making a fuss behind the gate, and he could tell that quite a few of them were preparing for battle. Let's give them some more time to prepare, commented Sek and walked a few meters away from the gate. 10 minutes later. Sek, who was sitting on the ground with a bronze stick in his hand, making a drawing on the ground. Suddenly he stopped drawing and looked at the gate that started opening. Finally. Do you guys have any idea how long you made me wait? Complained Sek as he got you from the ground and stretched his body. Soon the gate opened fully and a huge army consisting of more than 100 white armored clad people appeared. The one who seemed to be the leader came forward and looked around and soon narrowed his eyes at Sek. So there was only one person. Muttered the man. Hey man, nice to meet you. I am Sek Bronzeza. I need some help getting back to my home. Can you guys help? Asked Sek with a smile on his face. Xander, is he the one? Asked the man in charge. Yes. He is the one who possesses the dragon's soul. Explained Xander. The man gave a side place to Xander but soon focused back on Sek. You despicable human. Get ready to die. Yelled Xander with a smirk on his face. Xander. My friend. Your arm's fixed. Want me to change that? Asked Sek with a smile and took X-Dace out of its sheath. Xander, stand back. You already failed the mission that was given to you. We will deal with you later. Ordered the man in charge. Xander looked at the man with a conflicted look on his face, but knowing his position he nodded and walked to the back of the army but still glared at Sek. Seeing that Xander was gone, the man focused back on Sek and raised his spear. And as for you, intruder, prepare to die and hand over the dragon's soul. Hearing his words, the whole army readied their weapons and spells, ready to attack the man in front of them. Haha! Be prepared, human. You are not in your dragon form now. There's no escaping. You will die. Yelled Xander from the back of the army. Hearing that, Sek smirked and said, really, looks like my help is standing back there, behind all of you all along. This made all of them widen their eyes in shock and look behind them to see what the weak human was talking about. Hey? Behind us? What the hell are you, tall, K-I-G? Xander looked behind him and didn't find anything or anyone there and turned around with an angry tone, but soon the anger turned into horror as he saw a long blade pass through the necks of the men and women standing in front of him. Thud 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 thud. Heads started falling one after the other and soon it was followed by the headless bodies. Ecstase, shrink. Damn, you guys fell for such an old trick. Well then Xander buddy, ready to die? Asked Sek with a smile and a bloody sword in his hand. Chapter 155, let's get going to work then. After making quick work of the young master named Xander, Sek looked at the pile of dead bodies around him. Well, that was easy. They died like humans. Vritra, is there anything different about their bodies from mine? Sorry, my other half. Can't use my powers right now. Still, maybe they are just human-like species that live in a different world. Obviously, much stronger than the ones living in your world. Hey! What? It's true. Divine energy is the best body conditioning energy, and just like how the mana is pure in your world, the divine energy here is pure. These guys could wreak havoc if they were to attack your world. Well, if we are not taking into consideration you and your cheating magic, the elf leader guy, the light magic statue guy, your squad captain, the wizard king, and that super lucky anti-magic twerp. Oh, and that red cat of fate thing. You have some serious powerhouses near you, now that I think about it. Better not get this idea in their heads. Strong or not, a whole army attacking the world will be too much to handle without considerable damage, replied Sek as he took one last glance at the dead bodies, before checking any life signs with key. Looking around, the inside of the town, Sek admired the view before walking into the town. So, any idea if we will find anyone or anything here? Maybe some food? Asked Sek. Let's hope we do. Unlike me who can sustain on magic or some other energy, you need food to fight and survive. Well, sorry for being human, replied Sek sarcastically. The Dark Lord and the Dragon King kept talking for a while until they entered quite deep into the town. I am picking key and mana signs. Looks like quite a few people are there. Let's hope they are not after your life. Sek nodded as well and soon spotted people walking around the town without any worries. Seeing that, Sek sighed and smiled as well, feeling relieved that there were normal-looking non-young masterish people were present. Sek continued to walk feeling slightly relaxed after feeling the calm ki around him. But soon he felt a slightly stronger ki aimed at him. Glancing behind him cautiously, Sek noticed one man and one woman walking towards him. They are not willing to kill, or that's what their ki tells me. Stay calm and act natural. Try to blend in as much as possible, suggested Vritra. Hey, you. Blonde hair, muscle guy. Halt. Hearing the voice that was obviously requesting attention, Sek turned around with a slightly confused look on his face. Me? Asked Sek. Yes, who are you? Never seen you here in this town before. Identify yourself. Ordered the man. Are you the guards? Sorry for looking suspicious. I am new in this town. Just arrived today. My name is Aaron Jaeger, answered Sek. You are quite good at acting and lying. Well, I have quite some experience fending off a crazy, psycho bitch from my past life, thought Sek. Aaron Jaeger, where are you from, and what's your purpose for coming to this town? Asked the female guard as she checked out Sek from top to bottom. Well, the girl that I liked since childhood and was going to propose, got married and I was, let's just leave it that, replied Sek with a slightly sad and complex expression on his face. This got a reaction from the two guards as they could probably understand what that meant. The young man in front of them was not able to look at his sweetheart getting lovey-love with someone else and probably got away from his hometown. The male guard sighed and patted Sek's shoulder. You've got it hard. I hope you get over it soon, said the male guard. The female guard nodded as well and thought that the chick must have had a few screws loose to let go of such a man. So Aaron, what are you going to do? Got a place to stay or a job? Asked the female guard as she slowly tucked her hair behind her ear and slightly pushed out her chest. Another one, commented Vritra. Shut up, thought Sek without any change in his expression on his face. I was thinking of getting a job somewhere here. I rushed out in a hurry and now I don't have any food and money, replied Sek with a helpless look on his face. Hearing that, the two guards looked at the helpless young man and thought that the man in front of them was too hurt to not even consider taking food and money with him. Let's go to the town hall. They might have an opening somewhere, suggested the male guard. Oh. Thanks a lot, Mr. Guard. Oh, I haven't introduced myself, yet. I am Raymond. I am Roxana. 23 and single. Just so you know. Hey? You, twin. Raymond was about to say something but suddenly got a powerful jab in his gut. Raymond looked at Roxana with a questioning gaze but got a cold look in response. Knowing it was better to stay silent, Raymond simply coughed, stood up, and started reading the group. Sek chose to ignore the whole scene and simply followed Raymond. Don't focus, okay, what Raymond says. My brother has a habit of saying unnecessary things. So you two are siblings. That explains the resemblance, replied Sek. So Aaron, how old are you? Asked Roxana. 16, replied Sek with a smile. Really? You look very mature for your age, said Raymond as he examined Sek. I get that a lot, replied Sek. Just like that the three of them continued to walk while making small talk. Sek noticed how the two of them, despite being friendly, were trying to get information out of him. Unlucky for them, the Dark Lord had great experience in hiding valuable information from a crazy, psycho bitch that would kill any girl whose name came out of Sek's mouth. I've saved countless lives because of these skills, thought Sek to himself. Alright, here we are. I will go and talk to the chief, said Raymond and walked inside the town hall. Sek nodded and waited outside with Roxana. Soon Raymond came back and gestured for them to come inside. The two entered the town hall and Sek looked around only to find many people walking around in various documents. This place looks busy, thought Sek. Soon Raymond led them to a desk and made Sek take a seat. Sek looked at the man sitting on the other side of the table. The man looked old with a few scars on his face. So, you're the heartbroken, young one. Haha, sucks to be you. Said the man with a laugh. Hearing that, a vein popped up on Sek's forehead, but he soon calmed himself down. Raymond and Roxana frowned but didn't say anything and just stood behind the old man. TCH, you're no fun. Anyway, the name's not needed. I am the chief and that's all you need to know. So what kind of work do you need? What are you good at? Asked the old man, feeling a bit disappointed since Sek didn't react. A live-in job would be good, as for work, I can do labor. A live-in job, muttered the old man as he used some magic and a stack of papers lying near him flew towards him and the pages started changing at great speeds. Here, not many jobs provide live-in options. Deal with that. 1. Taking care of a crazy old man who tries to stab at various times of the day. Ooh, I recommend this one. 2. Helper at the orphanage. 3. Servant for the border patrol. This one pays the most. So one's not the option. Killed the guys in option 3. Okay, not much thought required, thought Sek. I will take the orphanage job. You don't want the old man one? Come in, it will be fun. No need, chief. I think someone more dependable will come to handle that one, replied Sek. Ha! Stop that bullshit sweet tone of yours. The orphanage job is yours now, work hard and keep the kids alive. Said the chief as he placed the job document in front of Sek and went to do some other work. Sek took the document and looked it over. I'm not able to read it. Thought Sek as he nodded sagely and with a confident look on his face. Raymond and Roxana saw Aaron read the document carefully and thought that the young man was very dedicated and felt happy that they helped such a good man. Unaware of the destruction and terror that was about to be caused by him, Sek smiled and stood up from his seat. Let's get going to work then. Chapter 156, Start of a New Job. So, this is where I will work. Led by the guard siblings, Sek, currently named Aaron, reached the orphanage that was located at the edge of the town. Sek checked the building and the area around the orphanage and simply thought that it was within his expectations of what an orphanage looked like. Well then Aaron, although I would like to get to know you better and show you around the town, we have to get back on patrol. Meet the matron and work well, said Raymond as he gave a pat on Sek's shoulder and said his goodbye. Roxana followed her brother but told Sek that she would try to meet him in her free time. Waving his hand towards the retreating guards, Sek checked his clothes to see if he looked fine, and after making sure that he was perfect, he finally stepped into the orphanage compound. After giving a knock on the orphanage door, Sek heard multiple steps rushing towards the door and took a step back. Yes. A bespectacled MILF middle-aged woman opened the door and looked at Sek curiously. Good evening, I am Aaron Yeager. The chief told me there was a living job that I could take. Said Sek with a smile. Hearing his words, the matron's eyes widened in surprise. She didn't expect that anyone would be willing to work at such a low pay, much less a strong-looking young man. Do you really want to work? The pay is not good, you know. Asked the matron suspiciously, not wanting to put the kids in danger. Sek gave a dry laugh and explained the reason that he told the two siblings and why he wanted a live-in job. Hearing his reason, the woman's eyes widened in surprise. She didn't expect that the young man in front of her would be having love troubles. I don't know if it would make you feel better, but I hope you get better soon. Haha, I hope that as well. So, about the job, I would be very appreciative if I got it. Asked Sek in a nervous tone as he scratched his cheek. Seeing the man being nervous, the matron chuckled and fully opened the door. Why not? It would help us as well if a strong-looking guy were to work here. Aaron Yeager, right? My name is Amelia. I am the matron of this small orphanage. Thanks for having me, Miss Amelia, replied Sek and stepped inside the orphanage. Don't bother the mat. Out of nowhere a kid trying to kick Sek came only for Sek to step aside from the kid's path. Rather energetic welcome, commented Sek with a smile. Hey? Why did you dodge that? Complained the kid. Oh, sorry about that. You looked so weak that I simply moved away so that you didn't get hurt, replied Sek with a smile. Me, weak? The kid who was called weak by a stranger didn't know why, but he wanted to erase the smirk off the man's face. Cassie! Stop that! Don't be rude! Scolded Amelia. The kid named Cassie wanted to complain but stopped since she didn't want to make Amelia angrier. The kid nodded and followed Amelia and Sek into the orphanage. 5 minutes later. Sek faced Amelia and a bunch of kids that stood beside her. Everyone, this man here is Mr. Aaron Yeager. He will be working here from today onwards. Make sure to not cause him trouble and get along with him. Yes, matron. The kids replied simultaneously and focused on the man named Aaron. Aaron, these little ones will be with you from today onwards. Take care of them. Let me introduce them. Well, you already met Cassie, then there's Willie and Lily, the twins. Ross, and finally Lenora. Humph, grunted Cassie. Hello. Greeted the twins. Hi. Muttered Ross. Handsome. Muttered Lenora with a slight blush on her cheeks. Sek ignored the last kid's words and bent down to their level. As Miss Amelia said, I am Aaron Yeager, you can call me Big Brother or Dark Lord. I will be living and working here for a while. Let's get along. Dark Lord. Really? I have a question, Mr. Aaron, Big Brother Dark Lord. Lenora raised her hand enthusiastically and waved it around. Ask away. Are you strong? Pretty much the strongest person. Oh. Really? Yet. Wow. Lenora looked at Sek with twinkling eyes. This made Amelia chuckle, seeing that Aaron was playing with the kids. Unknown to her, the Dark Lord was truly serious. And don't be fooled by him. The strongest? He is obviously lying. Said Cassie. Says the one who wasn't able to land a surprise attack. Mocked Sek. Why you? Take this. Yelled Cassie as she pounced at Sek once again, and once again Sek simply sidestepped and dodged the girl. My, so slow. Grr. Don't mock me. Yelled Cassie and tried to attack Sek once again, but this time instead of dodging, Sek misdirected her hit. Little power you got there, young miss. Try more, replied Sek in a calm tone. Cassie was pissed by his nonchalant behavior and tried to attack once again, but the result was still the same. This continued for a while, and in the end, a scene of a young girl trying her best to hit a man and the man simply bullying the kid was what welcomed the rest of the kids and the matron. Give up, little kid. You cannot win against the Dark Lord. Exclaimed Sek. Grr, I will land a hit. Just you wait. Haha, with your feeble power? In your dreams, replied Sek with a laugh. All right. That's enough playing around. Aaron, Cassie, stop. Ordered the matron, and the two of them looked at the matron with an unwilling gaze but relented under the matron's gaze. This is not over, whispered Cassie. Well, tell me whenever you want to play around, replied Sek and ruffled her hair with a smile on his face. No fair, Cassie is hogging Mr. Aaron, Big Brother Dark Lord. I wanted to play too. Play tomorrow after everyone completes their chores. For now, it's dinner time. Lenora whined after hearing that, but all of a sudden a sound was heard. Grumble. Sorry, I haven't eaten in quite a while. apologized Sek as he held Cassie back from retaliating. Phew, go and wash up everyone. I will reheat the soup in the meantime. Guide Mr. Aaron as well. Okay. The kids along with Sek left to wash their hands and soon came back. The kids sat around the table and Sek started setting up the table. Once everyone was seated, Sek looked at the soup and bread in front of him. A bit lacking, but still smells okay. Better than having nothing. It's too early to resort to your emergency rations, advised Vritra. I know. Sek simply started eating without saying anything and soon devoured everything. Thanks for the food. Looks like you were really hungry, commented Amelia. Well, I haven't eaten in a while yet. Sorry if it wasn't sufficient. I didn't know someone would be joining us today. No. I am more than satisfied with this meal. I am glad to hear that. The matron smiled and so did the kids and started eating once again. Once everyone was done eating, the kids started preparing for bed and soon Sek was led along with the kids in a slightly bigger room. Well then, I will be sleeping with you guys. Good night, said Sek and immediately laid down on the ground to sleep. Hey, you really gonna sleep now? It's still early, complained Lenora. Well, I am tired and have nothing to do. Also, if Miss Amelia finds out you guys making a ruckus, you will be in trouble. Then tell us a story, suggested Willie. Yeah. A story. A good story, added Lily. Really? A story? Yeah, exclaimed all the kids. Sigh. Once upon a time there was a king. He died. The end. Now sleep. Hey. No fair. Well, life's not fair. Good night. Please, big brother. Hearing the kids whine, Sek looked at them with one of his eyes open and sighed. Sometimes I wonder why am I such a considerate Dark Lord. Alright brats, be ready to hear one of the most epic stories you could have ever heard. The tale of the number 1 hyperactive, knucklehead ninja. The tale of Naruto Uzumaki, said Sek in an excited tone and huddled the kids around him. Chapter 157, We're gonna greet them to hell. The next morning, Sek, who slept quite late because he was busy telling a story to the kids, naturally woke up a bit late. The amount of fatigue, both physical and mental, weighed a lot on him and he was finally able to sleep after a long while. Wake up, my other half. You would look hilarious if you woke up later than the kids. Hearing the familiar voice of the dragon inside him, Sek groggily woke up and looked around him, shooting the kids sleeping in bizarre poses. Good morning, Vritra. Morning. So how was sleep after the whole elf, devil, and this new dimension ordeal? Could have used more sleep, but yet, it felt great. He then stood up and folded the sheet that Amelia gave him and went out of the room. You woke up early. Good morning, Aaron. Hey, oh yeah. Good morning, replied Sek, almost forgetting that he was currently named Aaron. I hope you slept well and the kids didn't bother you much. It's fine. I slept like a log. Anyway, what things do you need me to do? Mostly repair and manual labor. It will also be good if you can help in farming. But leave that for later, go and wash up first. And wake up the kids after you are done, instructed Amelia and got back to cooking. Sek gave a nod and went to wash his face and freshen up for the day. He then woke up the kids, much to their annoyance, but still, the kids followed the order. Once all of them were done with their morning routine, they gathered around the table to eat their breakfast. After they were done, Sek decided to start working and was soon led by Amelia and the kids. So you want me to repair the fence, the doors, windows, roofs, and the warehouse? Alright, where will I get the wood? Asked Sek. What will you be repairing first? Asked Amelia. The fence, replied Sek and checked the condition of the barbed wire. Okay. Willie, if you don't mind. Yes, matron. Hearing her request, the male twin stepped forward and held one of the wooden fence planks. Maker magic, object remake. Mana filled the wooden fence plank and soon multiple planks started piling up near Willie. Seems like the perfect magic to crash the market. Stonks, said Sek as he picked up the full stack of planks. Walking towards the damaged fence, Sek simply grabbed one of the stronger looking areas and uprooted the whole fence in one go, making the kids' and matron's eyes widen from shock. Aaron, don't you need tools like a hammer and nails? Asked Amelia, still feeling bewildered by the young man's actions. No need. Not even turning around, Sek grabbed the planks and started slamming and planting them into the ground one after the other. This went on for a while and soon the whole perimeter of the orphanage was covered in a new wooden fence. So, now the doors and windows, right? Asked Sek just to be sure, but the kids and Amelia were still shocked by the sight in front of them. You finished a work that would have taken nearly a week in just a matter of minutes, muttered Amelia. Whoa! He just rammed the planks in the ground with his bare hands, exclaimed Cassie. Amazing! Cheered the twins. Hearing the praise, Sek's chest swelled with pride. If you work at this pace, then all the work will be over in just a day or two. We really got an amazing personnel, commented Amelia with a smile. Hey, wait a minute, if I finish all the tasks here then I won't be employed here anymore. I suppose. Oh my, I suddenly feel so weak after completing a task that could have taken weeks in just a few minutes. I don't think I can work anymore today, said Sek dramatically and fell to the ground. Hey, you were perfectly fine just now. I am not anymore. You are lying. I am not. Yes, you are. Come on, don't be lazy. Matron is bullying the weak. How come I am the bully? The matron and the Dark Lord continued to bicker for a while. If not for me needing a base for now, I would left. I cannot get fired for now, thought Sek. Matron, don't bully big bro Aaron, said the twins. Yeah, the matron told us that bullying is bad, added Ross. Mr. Aaron big bro Dark Lord did the work so it's fine, right? Added Lenora. Besides, if he leaves we won't be able to finish Naruto. Finished Cassie. Seeing the 5 kids defending him, Sek looked at Amelia and smirked. Good job brats. Defend your Dark Lord from oppression. Seeing the combined front of the little kids and the bigger kid in a man's body, Amelia sighed. Alright. I understand. You actually completed your job so I can't complain. Hearing that Sek smiled but out of nowhere his brows twitched a bit. Looks like it's time to leave, thought Sek. You picked something? Asked Vritra. We are being monitored. I am sensing around 5 people. They found us pretty quick. Well, I killed 2 whole platoons so. So what to do with the kids and matron? Let's just make sure that they aren't prosecuted for sheltering me. Ending his chat with Vritra, Sek stood up and looked at the kids and the matron for one final time. I will be going to the town for a bit, said Sek and got out of the orphanage. Amelia and the kids looked slightly confused but soon ignored that. After walking quite a bit away from the orphanage, Sek stopped and turned around and spotted the 2 guard siblings he met yesterday. Yo, Raymond, Roxana. Good morning. Greeted Sek with a smile. But the 2 siblings weren't smiling and charged their weapons with mana. Eren Yeager, no Sek Bronzeza. We are here to arrest you for the crime of killing the border patrol squad. Sigh, so you guys know. Well, wanna let me go and do a favor to your friend? Asked Sek. We are no friends with a criminal. Yeah, sending 2 whole platoons to capture and kill me, and me retaliating back to live makes me the criminal, said Sek with a deadpan look on his face. You killed 347 people. Yelled Roxana. It's literally a matter of perspective, you know. Besides, I am busy working at the orphanage and taking care of those kids. You don't want something, let's just say, unpleasant to happen there now, do you? Asked Sek with a cold smile on his face. You can play the villain role as well. I am learning of your new talents, commented Vritra. Don't worry about them, they are now taken to a safe place anyway. So how about coming with us while we are being nice? Said a new voice, and soon a man appeared out of nowhere behind Sek. Ah, you brought more friends to play with, and what about the other 2? You may come out as well, you know. Hearing Sek's words, 2 guys came out of the ground. So what now? Wanna surrender while we are being nice? It's 5 against 1, you know. Now where's the fun in that? At least I want to fight while I can. Is that so? Commented the guy who appeared out of nowhere, and all 5 of them got ready with their weapons to attack the Dark Lord. You might want to take that sword out now, said one of the people who came out of the ground. Why? It's not like I am gonna need it for people of your level, replied Sek. You basta. Out of nowhere, Sek appeared in front of the guy with a glowing orb in his hand. Mana bullet, raise Nan. Slamming the orb filled with mana in the man's gut, Sek simply smiled and watched as the man was blown away by the impact. The kids would have gone bonker after seeing the real-life Rance Nan. Suddenly Sek's legs were grabbed and he looked down to find the other Earth Mage. Just an advice. Let go. Well, I did my part of warning you. Bronze transformation magic, Midas touch. Wah! Not even a second later the man's hands along with some part of the ground were turned to bronze. Tell him freeing the legs by breaking off the bronze hands he won't be able to jerk off anymore. Seeing how two of them were dealt with so easily, the other three got serious. The remaining new man ran towards Sek but soon turned invisible. Seeing that, Sek widened his eyes in shock. Just kidding, commented Sek as he took a step back and punched the space to his left with his fist covered in bronze. Ack! With a grunt of pain, the man materialized again and fell to the ground. Really? Down in one punch? Man, I am strong, commented Sek. He then looked at Raymond and Roxana, who got vigilant once they saw his gaze. Seeing that, Sek sighed and pointed his finger toward them and fired 2 mana bullets at the siblings. Debuff magic, sleep touch. The moment the bullets hit the siblings they started to wobble around and soon fell to the floor as well. You dealt with them rather peacefully, commented Vritra. The two of them helped me, just returning the favor. After that, Sek went toward one of the fallen men and started going through his clothes. What are you doing? Checking for loot. We need usable money, you know. The mighty Dark Lord is stealing. It's the price for not killing them. It's different from stealing. It's a matter of perspective, I guess. Sometimes you're just mean. Before he could finish, a barrier surrounded him and an instant later Sek vanished from the spot. We secured the target, commented a man wearing the same white young master soldier uniform. True, but who's gonna secure you guys now? Not even hesitating a bit, Xdace cleaved through the heads of the group of men surrounding Sek. They really don't give me a break, commented Sek as he swung the blood off Xdace. So, where are we? Asked Vritra. I hope they're HQ, replied Sek. So we gonna greet them. We're gonna greet them to hell. Chapter 158, Looking good while kicking ass is one of the fundamentals of being the Dark Lord. Currently, in a huge building residing deeper inside the realm of the dead's habitable area, the captured human who was supposed to possess a dragon's soul was teleported in. In a huge hall in the same building, multiple figures were watching a magic screen, and the figure of the said man was also visible to them. We secured the target. True, but who's gonna secure you guys now? And in an instant, the man's sword cleaved through the group of men that were surrounding him. HOH, so this is the human with the dragon's soul. He looks kind of funny. He seems to be a bit skilled at least. I will kill him. Easy there, Xena. We have orders too. It's Captain Xena. So speak wisely. Yes, Captain. The group consisted of 2 men and 2 women, and among them, one of the women having vibrant violet hair glared at the man who tried to correct her. We're gonna greet them to hell. The man on the screen said that with a smirk on his face and started walking towards the exit. Inform all the people in the base. Get that man either alive or just on the brink of death. I want to be the one to make him regret. As you command, Captain. Replied the other girl of the group and then took out a magic tool from her pocket. All units of Squad 8. The target has escaped. I repeat, the target has escaped. Attack him on sight. Any means necessary as long as he is not dead. The announcement was heard throughout the base by everyone, and our Dark Lord was no exception to that. They seem welcoming, commented Vritra. Yeah, a friendly bunch. What do you think? Will they be my friends? Asked Sek with a smirk. Why not ask them yourself? They are coming, you know. Hey there, comrade. Greeted Sek. Acid magic, corrosion cloud. Bronze magic, bronze body logia. A cloud made of corrosive mist came from the enemy's side and engulfed Sek inside of it. Lightning magic, thunder beast crash. A giant quadruped beast made of lightning rushed inside the corrosive mist cloud. Got him! Cheered the 2 young master soldiers. No, you didn't. Suddenly a long blade emerged out of the cloud, cutting the magic in its path, revealing the Dark Lord with his clothes mostly melted. You're not a comrade. You are a pervert, commented Sek as he looked at his almost naked body. Why, how dare you call us that, you despicable human? Sek looked at the 2 young masters and shrugged his shoulders before rushing toward the 2 young masters. Seeing the naked man running toward them with his dong swinging around, the 2 men took a step back, feeling a bit speechless. But it was that moment of hesitation that Sek took advantage of and extended his Logia body arms forward, grabbing the necks of the 2 soldiers. Ack! Le, let go! The 2 young masters struggled for freedom and Sek just looked at them coldly. No, replied Sek, and his grimoire started flipping. World Tree Debuff Magic, Fruit of Life. Mana gathered in Sek's hands and a seed-like object appeared on the men's foreheads. Ah! What is this? Stop! Stop! Stop this! All of a sudden the two started screeching in pain as the seed on their foreheads started to absorb the mana and life force out of them. Seeing the two screeching and flailing around, Sek let the two of them go and immediately the two tried to pull the seed off their foreheads only to fail while their life force and mana continued to get absorbed by the seeds. Their bodies started getting thin and wrinkly and soon just a husk of their lifeless bodies remained. Once everything was sucked out of them, the seeds detached themselves and turned into a small fruit before coming flying back to Sek. The truly dangerous spells do live up to their names, commented Vritra. Why the hell do you think I refrain from using these? Replied Sek as he walked towards the dead husks, stripped one of them of his clothes, and equipped it on himself. These feel nice. And they fit perfectly. Comfortable to move in as well. Sek, while trying out various movements and attacks to check the flexibility of his clothes, formed a shiny bronze surface in front of him to check out his new look. Looks nice. What do you think, Vritra? Asked Sek. Is this really the time for you to check out how you look? Oh come on, looking good while kicking ass is one of the fundamentals of being the Dark Lord. Explained Sek. Sai, slick back the hair and you're good to go. Following the dragon's advice, Sek styled his hair and gave himself a final look before smirking and giving a thumbs up to the handsome dude in the mirror. Well, then we are all set. Saying that, the Dark Lord got out of the exit only to find a horde of soldiers coming towards the dungeon. Hey, you! Where is that human? Asked one of the soldiers, thinking that Sek was one of them. So clothes do make the man. Well, that human knocked me out and got away somewhere. Did he come this way? Asked Sek with a pissed look on his face. You idiot! If we saw him, why would we be asking you? Everyone spread out and find him. Ordered the supposed leader of the group. The soldiers nodded and were about to spread out, but all of a sudden the announcement came once again. The squad near the dungeon, the man in front of you is the human. Capture him. The human is currently wearing our uniform. Blonde hair, blue eyes, muscular body. It was worth a shot, said Sek as he shrugged his shoulders. But soon he pointed his fists towards the men and his arms started glowing. Bronze creation magic, weapon make minigun. Flame debuff magic, blaze touch maximum. Mana bullets covered in debuff magic started raining down on the group of soldiers in front of him, and the moment the bullets hit any one of them, their whole body got engulfed in flames. Ah! It burns, it burns! Somebody get rid of these flames! Water magic, wave crash. One of the enemy soldiers seemed to be a water mage and after seeing his friends, decided to step in. Large amounts of mana gathered around them and Sek's eyes widened seeing the giant wave coming towards them and drowning the friends as well. Do they don't have any brain cells? Asked Sek with a disappointed look on his face. The water came for Sek next, but Sek just pointed his hand towards the water body and fired a mana bullet once again. Ice debuff magic, frost touch. In an instant, the whole body of water that contained several soldiers turned into solid ice, leaving the water mage and the people behind him shocked. By the way, they guys are still burning inside the ice. So this huge water wave, thanks for the support, comrade. Now die. Sek jumped above the frozen water and soldier and pointed Xdace at the remaining men. Xdace glowed and immediately the blade shot forward like a serpent and pierced the hearts of all the remaining soldiers, killing all of them in an instant. Cleaning the blood of Xdace, Sek started walking once again and started heading towards the place where the B*TCH who was making announcements was. Chapter 159, I think you should check again. Whoa ho ho. That man's brutal. He is stronger than I thought. Forget that, did you see him without clothes? Whistles. In the room where the senior brass of the 8th squad gathered, the scene of the fight between the Dark Lord and the soldiers was being displayed on the magic screen. Some of them were mildly amused by the display of strength, but none considered Sek a threat, rather just a bug trying his hardest to survive and getting drained of his mana at the same time. All of them are useless. Hearing the cold voice, all of them looked toward the person who said that and shook their heads helplessly. Bronze creation magic, countless swords. Wind magic, gale force wall. Glacier magic, icicle cleaver. The countless swords aimed toward the enemy soldiers were easily deflected by the wall of wind and an immediate counterattack was launched back at Sek. Bronze magic, giant's fist. A huge fist appeared above Sek and punched the huge ice sword, shattering it in the process. Flame magic, scorching serpent. A giant snake made of flames was launched towards Sek. Sek that the giant fist tried to grab the snake, only for it to slither out of it easily. Bronze creation magic, weapon make Gatser blaster. A giant animal skull appeared in front of Sek and fired a powerful mana-charged beam destroying anything that came in its path. Once the mana beam died down, nothing except for the trail of destruction was left in sight, seeing which Sek sighed. Sigh, they are not dying without using strong spells. My other half, be mindful of your mana as well. I know, but it's not like holding back on attacks is gonna help me, replied Sek. Still, you need to be careful. Relax. I've killed quite a few of them. It's not like they will have much manpower left. Just as Sek said those words, he came out of the passage and came in sight of the huge open space inside the huge building. In front of him, more than 500 soldiers with spells ready to be fired were glaring at him. I just had to raise a flag. Attack. Hearing the command, all the spells from multiple directions were fired at him without any delay. Seeing the barrage of spells coming toward him, Sek closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Seeing the target being motionless, many of the soldiers smiled, but soon their smiles disappeared as Sek vanished from their sight. Time debuff magic, fast forward 10x. Most of them didn't know what happened just now, but still, some were there could see a white and yellow blur move around the field, and soon the blur reached the other end of the enemy soldiers. There. He is at the back. A person who was in the air yelled while pointing at Sek, and following his words the people both in the sky and on the ground turned around. Hey! But the moment the people on the ground turned their heads, they started falling off their bodies. Blood started to splurt out of their bodies like a fountain, and in an instant the whole ground was covered in blood. Sek looked at Xdace that was sharp as ever and smirked. He then looked at the people who were up in the air and pointed Xdace at them as well. Do any of you guys know that you can kill in cursive as well? It's inspired by a legendary blue-colored Mary Poppins. Hey! Was all that came out of the flying soldiers before a small bronze arrow with negligible mana pierced through their hearts one by one. The bodies fell one after the other until the whole field was filled with dead bodies. I said it before and I will say it again, that sword and your debuff magic grimoire are cheating. Says the one who can absorb any shit he wants, spew out cursed flames, bind people with their shadows, and straight up seal the abilities of opponents mid-battle, replied Sek. Yeah, but I am a dragon king. I am great. And I am the Dark Lord. The greatest. The dragon was speechless at his host's pride and just shook his head since he couldn't prove him otherwise. Satisfied with Vritra's silence, Sek got back on his path to the boss's room. Wow, he really dealt with all of them in one go. Gotta give it to him. He is okay. That magic item though, I am more interested in that. That sword is good. I will go and do my work. He will be coming here next anyway. So then, Captain Xena, what will be the plan of action? Asked one of the men. This human is getting cocky. We need to show him his place. Oh, we will see captain level power today, I guess. This will be epic. That's not a plan of action. I mean, you don't need a plan if you are overwhelmingly strong. True that. Hearing this logic, the man was unable to say anything and just nodded. Sek, who almost walked around the whole HQ, was finally in front of a boss room-like door. Can't these people install some signs? It was so damn difficult. They have no respect for their guests. Jokes aside, how much mana do you have left, my other half? 85% give or take. Should be enough. It should be, considering that I am only sensing around 4 people in there, replied Sek and shrugged his shoulders before he came in front of the door. Not even thinking twice, Sek used reinforcement magic and kicked open the door, sending it flying. Knock knock! Yelled Sek as he saw the door flying toward a cold-faced lady. But out of nowhere a giant hand made of water appeared in the air, caught the door, and threw it back at Sek. Whoa! Not expecting that, Sek ducked and dodged the incoming door that went flying behind Sek. Hey, that's rude! Complained Sek. Hey there, human trash! Greeted one of the men sitting around a giant table. Hello, I don't know what species you guys call yourself, but still asshole. Greeted Sek back. I kinda like him. Said the man to the great of them in the room. Enough nonsense. Human, I will give you one chance to surrender the dragon's soul and die. You have charges of killing Squad 10 sent to retrieve the dragon and then killing the entire border patrol and infiltrating our land. The new crime of killing all the soldiers of Squad 8 and trying to break free from prison is hereby added to your list of crimes, not to mention the biggest crime you ever did, you dare harm my dear Xander. said the cold-faced lady as a murderous aura fell upon Sek. And for the first time since coming to this dimension Sek felt a shiver run down his spine. This aura, it's the same as that BTCH Lisa's, F Puck she is a psycho Yandera thought Sek as he started to visibly sweat. My other half? You all right? Asked Vritra since he felt that Sek was getting a bit mentally disturbed. Sek didn't reply but still wiped the sweat off his forehead and took a deep breath. Hey, it was that B*TCH Xander's fault for picking a fight with me and bringing me here in the first place. I gave him a warning and all. What did you call my little brother just now? Asked Xena in a cold tone. Oh boy, he cursed him in front of the Siskin. He is dead. Commented one of the men enjoying the chaos. Oi, don't kill him immediately. Remember, you gave him a chance to surrender. Commented the other man. He then looked at Sek or more specifically at his sword. So what do you say, human? Wanna surrender? You must be pretty drained after all that fighting. I don't think you have much mana left anyway. Oh don't worry about that, replied Sek with a confident smirk as mana started to leak out of him. I think I have plenty of mana left, said Sek as he let his mana run wild. Sek was confident that a fight was about to break out soon and was about to prepare a spell but suddenly his expression hardened as he felt his mana getting pushed back. Really? I think you should check again. Replied the man as he released his mana easily dominating the maximum amount that Sek had and pushed Sek's mana away. Following his lead, the other people in the room released their mana as well and immediately the pressure from Sek's mana vanished, and the Dark Lord for the first time in his life was blown away by the sheer difference in mana limits. I think that it's obvious, but I think that they are pretty strong. Thanks for the info. I couldn't have guessed replied Sek in a mocking tone as he immediately used mana skin to handle the mana pressure. Seeing the human stand the men clapped for his effort while the psycho Yandera kept glaring at Sek. Well, time for Maxi. But before he could finish one of the men appeared in front of him and uppercutted him sending him flying. Sorry? Were you saying something? I didn't hear it. Said the man as he looked at the flying human. You bass and once again Sek was kicked by the man who appeared behind Sek out of nowhere. Crashing into the ground Sek glared at the man who was now standing in front of him. What? Never seen someone stronger than you whooping you so badly? Asked the man in a mocking tone. This might get ugly said Sek. Oh don't worry it will. Replied the man with a chuckle. For you guys. Finished Sek as his grimoire started flipping. Body debuff magic, damage transfer. And immediately all the injuries on Sek's body got transferred to the man. Feeling the sudden pain the man was surprised and lost his focus for a bit. And being the great Dark Lord he is Sek took full advantage of that and sliced the man in front of him in half. The body that was now sliced nicely in half fell on the ground and Sek stood up with some blood on his face and his clothes and looked at the split dead body. Stronger than me? I think you should check again, said Sek as he got ready to fight with the remaining people in the room. Chapter 160, It's because BOOP cliffhanger. Seeing one of their members split in half by the despicable human the remaining members of the young masters snorted. To die by the hands of a human. Maybe I need to reevaluate the abilities of the officials in my squad, commented Xena. Seeing their reactions Sek charged mana in his body and immediately multiple Gaster blasters appeared around the two of them. Bronze creation magic, weapon make Gaster blasters. The animal skulls started glowing as Sek charged them to the maximum. This one will pack a punch. The two white armored beings just glanced at the animal skulls without making any movements and a moment later the whole surrounding got covered in a bright light. Boom! A huge explosion occurred that destroyed the whole building in a single attack. Sek who was riding on top of his hoverboard looked at the dust cloud that formed because of the damage and kept starting toward the source of the huge mana. Careful my other half, these people are different from the rest of the ones whom you fought with before. They are around 4 winged angel levels strong. Iced Vritra. Sek didn't reply and just nodded as he continued to stare with a serious look on his face. Soon the dust cloud started fading and the figures of the two people started to appear. That was a good trick. Don't tell me it was your strongest move, though. Said the man who appeared to be covered in a shiny diamond-like armor. I shall take that as you are not willing to surrender and start the termination process. Said the woman Xena who was surrounded by a barrier of water. Holy water magic, smiting pressure wave. A high-pressure water wave launched from the woman's hand and headed toward Sek. Not even flinching from the sheer force of this attack Sek simply formed a sizable mana bullet in his hand and launched it towards the water wave. Flame debuff magic, blaze touch. The moment the mana bullet collided with the water wave, it got heated up and turned into steam, evaporating in an instant. Seeing her attack vanish, the woman narrowed her eyes in displeasure. Wow, he got you, good captain. No worries. Let your subordinate join in the fun too, said the man as he flew up in the sky. Gem magic, lavish destruction sapphire. Blue sapphire-like gems surrounded Sek and started glowing. Seeing the gems glowing, Sek flew up as he could feel both the mana and the ki from them. There's no running away, kiddo, said the man as the gems fired concentrated man beams at Sek. Seeing the incoming beams, Sek smirked and his grimoire started flipping. Mirror magic, concave reflector. A giant concave mirror appeared in front of the mana beams and absorbed the mana beams. Seeing his attack getting absorbed by the magic mirror, the man raised his brows in astonishment. Not even an instant later, Sek fired the combined mana beams back at the man. Did he just combine all my attacks and fire back at me? Said the man in disbelief. Gem magic, unbreakable protection diamond. Holy water magic, blessed trident. The man immediately blocked the incoming attack with a diamond-like armor, and taking advantage of that, the woman took for the skies as a large amount of mana gathered around her. This easily dwarfs that elf leader's final attack against the devil, said Vritra, feeling the amount of mana gathered by the woman through Sek. Sek looked at the woman who had a trident made of clear water and the size of a tower above her. Gem magic, dazzling thunder amethyst. Various violet orbs surrounded the giant aqua trident and electricity started to crackle around the water. Seeing the size of the attack remained silent, but for some reason, he had a vein twitching on his forehead. My other half. Feeling that his host was in a bad mood, Vritra decided to make Sek realize that they were in the middle of a battle and probably in deep shit as well. Enough. What? Are you so scared that you lost your voice? That's right. Tremble. Tremble in fear for the sin of laying a hand on my cute brother, yelled the psycho Brokon as the size of the trident doubled. My captain is making me shiver in excitement, let me add to the destruction. Gem magic, brilliant doom garnet. A reddish-purple gem-like structure appeared inside the trident and broke apart, releasing a large amount of mana as the trident turned to the gem's color and the electricity around it got even more chaotic. I said enough. Ha! It's too late to regret it now. Die! Yelled the woman who had lost her composure as she fired the attack at Sek. Seeing the huge attack that would surely annihilate the whole town below them, Sek took a deep breath and sheathed Xdace. My other half! Yelled Vritra in shock as he didn't understand what was going through his host's mind. I said enough. Stop showing off your huge mana! Yelled Sek as his grimoire started flipping. Glass debuff magic, shatter. Not even flinching in front of the incoming attack, Sek straight up punched the trident. Asterisk shatter. Asterisk. The moment his punch connected, the mana inside the water trident got chaotic and the sound of thousands of glasses shattering echoes in the area, and in an instant the huge attacks vanished. Wah! Is he for real? The two young masters looked at the scene with shock as a pissed off Sek gave the middle finger to the two of them. Why, you despicab! Stop looking down! It's hurting my neck! Feather debuff magic, flightless. A wave of mana came out of Sek and passed through the two enemies, and not even a second later the two started falling. You've got too much mana, right? So stop showing off. Bronze creation magic, weapon make Gaster blaster plus spatial debuff magic, distorted space plus water debuff magic, dehydrate plus beast debuff magic, berserk. A Gaster blaster appeared above the two falling people, and as soon as it appeared above them, its blue eyes turned red. A large amount of mana gathered in its mouth, feeling which the two immediately got on the defensive. Gem magic, unbreakable protection, diamond. Holy water magic, blessed water veil. The mad Gaster blaster room charged up the mana and fired a far more destructive attack than the normal Gaster blaster. Seeing the incoming attack, the two sighed, since they were glad that their shields were applied because of their quick thinking. Too bad for them, their opponent was the Dark Lord. The moment the mana beam made contact with the water shield, all the water vanished. This made the woman shocked at how easily her magic was destroyed. This wasn't the end though, as the beam continued moving and immediately drilled through the diamond shield, piercing them, and successfully donutting the two high mana freaks. The two of them spilled blood the moment their bodies were pierced by the beam, but this wasn't the end of their suffering, as the effects of water debuff magic, dehydrate, immediately dried up all the water that was present in their bodies, turning the two of them into husky figures. Take that, you high mana freaks! How was it? How was my attack? Did that high amount of man help you? Hey! What? I cannot hear you too. Is that high amount of mana not helping you in speaking after taking an attack from the Dark Lord? Yelled Sek in a slightly pissed tone. I forgot that the Dark Lord works on feeling superior to others, thought Vritra. Well, it's good in its own ways, thought Vritra as he simply laughed at his host's action. The two near-dead beings stared at the angry teenager. They were in pain, a lot of pain, but they were slowly losing the sensations in their bodies. They were not losing blood because it was dried off, but the blood was also not moving around in their bodies. They tried to scream, call for help, or warn of the others, but their throats were totally dry and it was difficult to even make a small move. Seeing no reaction from them, Sex landed on the ground and looked at them who had a hole in their stomachs. Aren't you two very wholesome, commented Sek. But soon felt mana appearing around them. Ah, come on! Whined Sek. Holy water recovery magic, drop of life. Gem magic, shining recovery, emerald. An angelic figure appeared above the woman holding a chalice and poured a drop of water on her. Similarly, an emerald appeared above the man and shattered, releasing a mana wave towards the man. The moment their spells were completed, their bodies started repairing. Seeing their bodies healing, Sek's face palmed and shook his head in disappointment. At this point, they are just getting annoying. Like seriously? A full heal after being at 1 HP? I agree. But after that wholesome joke, you kinda deserved it, my other half. Replied Vritra. What? It was good. No, it was not. Now focus on the fight. Sek focused back on the two of them who were now back on their feet and got ready to battle once again. Can't you two just die like good enemies? Asked Sek, preparing another spell. Why you? Yelled the psycho. Captain, he is too dangerous to be left alive. Said the other man. You realize that now? Well, better late than never, I guess. Wait, what's that behind you? Asked Sek. And the noobs fall for it again. Not even taking an instant, Sek moved forward and punched the two of them with full force, sending them flying. Ack! Damn you! Fight fairly! The two landed quite a bit away from Sek and immediately healed their injury. Point to note, still weak to physical attacks. Alright, hey you psycho bro con! Yelled Sek as he waved at the woman. What? Barked the bitch. You're gonna love this spell. So watch it carefully. Like we're gonna give you any more openings. Yelled the man. Oh, don't worry, you are already dead. You ask why? Asked Sek with a toothy grin. The two didn't know why, but they felt despair hearing those words. It's because the Dark Lord had already touched you too, said Sek as he raised his hand in front of him, shaped it like a detonator, and pressed it with his thumb. Explosion debuff magic, bites the dust. Hey! Said the man before his body started expanding, and an instant later every cell in his body exploded. Boom! The sound of the explosion was clearly heard by the woman who just started at the place where the man was standing just a moment ago. Why? Why do you have his magic? Why do you have Xander's magic? Demanded the psycho. It's because BOOP cliffhanger, said Sek and did the detonating action once again. Way was all that could come out of her mouth before she exploded into nothingness as well. Sometimes, I think you are evil, said Vritra. Oh please, I am just adorable, replied Sek as he finally sat down to take his rest. Unknown to him, there was one person who was still left after the whole fight who was watching the scene that took place in front of her. I need to inform about him too. Before she was able to finish, Xdace's extended blade appeared from behind her and sliced up her entire body into fine pieces. Key is good, commented Sek as he started wiping the blood off his sword.
Thanks for listening.